Welcome to our project where we will be discussing the world-renowned Cherry Blossom Festival of Japan. This module has been so interesting for us all, and we decided we wanted to delve further into Japanese culture and learn more about one of Japan's most well-known festivals. Japan is known around the world for its Cherry Blossom Festival, as it is a time of year where people can celebrate the beginning of spring. This festival is also known as Hanami, which refers to the act of enjoying the blooming of cherry blossoms. The most popular type of cherry tree is called sakura and can be found all over Japan. The festival season commences around the end of March each year and lasts for around 2 weeks. A typical cherry blossom festival is like one big picnic, as attendees drink and eat delicious Japanese food that is either home cooked, barbecued or bought from a takeaway. Like a typical festival, people become competitive to get a good spot in the parks, and as a result, some people even go the day before to secure their spot. Some of the most well-known parks for viewing the blooms are Maruyama Park, Mount Yoshino, and Fuji Five Lakes.
The Cherry Blossom Festival originated during the Nara period, when the Chinese tradition that consisted of the viewing of plum blossoms was most prominent. As the Japanese imperial court began to gain more power, aristocrats would often read Chinese writings and poems which celebrated the beauty of ume, and the idea of flower viewing became fascinating. Additionally, peasants in Japan at this time believed that during spring, gods would reside within sakura, so these individuals would often place offerings at the foot of these trees and pray that they will bring them a full harvest. But it was not until the Heian period when the viewing of cherry blossoms became more appealing to the public. From the year 831, the celebration of sakura became a regular event and it rapidly spread among the aristocrats. Although at first it seemed as if the festival was only for the upper class, the love for cherry blossoms was able to be fully shared with the commoners once the Tokugawa shogunate was established. This was done so with the planting of sakura trees in public settings. Yoshimune Tokugawa, the 8th shogun, had cherry blossom trees planted along the Sumida River, and rumours suggest he did so in order to relieve flooding. Many people would travel to the riverside to admire these trees, and their many footsteps would have supposedly made the ground hard enough to prevent it from being taken away by the river. This could possibly be the reason why sakura trees have been planted among many riverbanks over the years. Numerous lords of the country were soon to follow in the shogunate's footsteps, which quickly made Hanami an extremely popular and well-known festival all over Japan.
The Hanami Festival has many portrayals in media and pop culture. It commonly features at the end of seasons of anime. Some examples of anime that include the Hanami Festival in their shows include Clannad and Hyoka. The festival is commonly used as a way to highlight the connections between the characters in a show and to emphasize their growth. The popularity of the Hanami Festival is not exclusive to Japan though. Throughout the 20th century, Japan donated cherry blossom trees to several cities around the world. Some of these cities have gone on since then to have Hanami festivals of their own. The International Cherry Blossom Festival is held in Macon, Georgia in the United States. There is also a yearly Hanami festival held in Dublin every year called Experience Japan. Experience Japan is held in Farmley in the Phoenix Park and is a celebration of Japanese culture. Due to different climates, the cherry blossom festivals that occur in different countries take place at different times of the year. Typically in Japan, the Hanami Festival would be held in late March/early April, depending on how far south. Meanwhile, in Dublin, the festival typically takes place in early April, and in Helsinki, Finland, it usually takes place in the middle of May.
In 1911, David Fairchild claimed, with regards to cherry blossoms, that Japanese connoisseurs report that there were once 300 varieties, but of these 300, many are almost indistinguishable. The striking kinds would probably not number more than 30 or 40. Of these 300 varieties, the Soma Yoshino has been the most common type of cherry blossom since the late 19th century. More than 80 to 90% of flowering cherry trees planted in parks and along roads and rivers across Japan, except in Okinawa and Hokkaido Islands, are the Soma Yoshino. This breed is described as having a profusion of white to pink 5-petaled flowers that appear on the branches before the leaves are produced. The 1.5 inch or 4 centimeter wide flowers are produced in umbels of 3 to 4 flowers. Due to how common this breed is across Japan, it has become a helpful resource in exploring the effects of climate change. In a journal exploring the effects of climate change on the cherry blossoms, it was explained that even the cherry trees in Washington DC, donated by the Japanese government, are responding to higher urban temperatures by flowering 1 week earlier than in the past, providing an example of the biological impacts of climate change right on the doorstep of the American government. These 2,000 cherry trees were given to Washington, D.C. from Tokyo in 1912.
For people in Japan, cherry blossoms represent the fragility and the beauty of life, and believe that every blossom is a reminder that life can be short, so we should make the most of every day. This represents how the Japanese people value life, the people in their life, and their country.